So let's talk about your clients, specifically the ones moving overseas. The moment they do that, their family home, it's not just a home anymore. It becomes a pretty complex investment. And you know what? The standard mortgage advice, it just doesn't cut it. In this explainer, we're going to make the case for a much more powerful structure you can recommend, the interest-only and offset strategy. Let's really break down why this is almost always the superior choice for them.
Here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the expat's unique financial dilemma. Then, we'll introduce the two-part strategy that solves it. We're going to do a deep dive into the offset account, put it head-to-head in an IO versus P&I showdown, and finally, wrap it all up with the clear strategic advantages for your client. All right, so let's set the scene. Your client's packing up, they're heading overseas for a new life, but the house is staying. In that moment, everything changes. It's no longer just their home. It's now a foreign-owned asset, and that comes with a whole new set of financial challenges. And, of course, new opportunities. The old playbook, just paying down the mortgage, you can pretty much throw that out the window. Now they're managing this asset from a different country, maybe even a different time zone. The number one priority becomes financial agility. They need cash they can get to like yesterday for emergencies. They need the flexibility to jump on new investment opportunities. They need a debt structure that empowers them, not one that ties their hands from thousands of miles away.
Okay, so this is where we shift gears from just having a mortgage to building a deliberate financial structure. The solution isn't just a single product. It's a really smart two-pronged approach, and it's designed specifically to give that expat client the two things they need most: control and liquidity. The whole strategy boils down to two key actions. First, we refinance the loan to its maximum 80% loan-to-value ratio. Now, the goal here isn't to go on a spending spree. It's all about accessing the equity that's trapped in the property. Step two, we switch the loan repayments to interest only. This immediately drops the minimum repayment, which is a huge boost to their cash flow. You see how these two steps work together? They create the exact financial buffer we're looking for. All right, let's get under the hood of this strategy, because this is where the magic really happens. It's all about the correct use of the offset account. This is how we take that equity we just unlocked and turn it into a real, tangible, and totally accessible safety net for your client. Now, we all know what an offset account is, right? It's a pretty familiar tool, but its strategic power, especially in this context, is so often overlooked. It's just a simple transaction account linked to the mortgage, and its job is simple. Every single dollar sitting in that offset directly reduces the loan principal when the bank calculates the monthly interest. We are going to leverage that simple mechanic to its absolute full potential. So check out this flow of money. This is so important. By refinancing to 80%, we create this lump sum of cash, this surplus capital. But here's the key. Instead of being spent, that entire amount gets parked directly into the offset account. Your client hasn't actually spent a single cent, but their entire financial position has been completely transformed. And boom, just like that, your client has an instant war chest. If the geyser bursts back at their rental property, they've got the cash. If a great investment opportunity pops up where they're living now, they've got the cash. And the best part? No forms, no new loan applications, no waiting around for a bank to say yes. It is maximum liquidity right there on demand. Now, this is the critical insight, the real aha moment. The loan limit is higher, sure, but the interest they actually pay isn't. Why not? Because interest is calculated on the net debt. That's the loan principal minus the offset balance. By parking that entire unlocked surplus in the offset, their net debt can stay exactly what it was before. So think about it. Your client pays the same interest, but now has this massive liquid cash buffer just sitting there at their disposal. It's a game changer. Okay, let's really drive this point home. To truly get the power of this structure, we have to put it side by side against the default option that most people have, a standard principal and interest or P&I loan. This table just lays it all out, clear as day. Look at the IO strategy. The minimum repayment is the lowest it can possibly be. That's fantastic for managing cash flow against rental income. Debt reduction, it's completely voluntary and totally liquid. Every extra dollar just sits in the offset, ready to be used. Now look at P&I. The repayment is higher, and every extra dollar you pay is gone, locked away as illiquid equity. And for an investor, this is key for you guys, the tax strategy is crucial. IO maximizes the tax-deductible interest expense, which improves the after-tax return. The P&I strategy actively works against you by constantly shrinking that deductible debt. Honestly, if there is only one slide you ever show a client, make it this one. It is the simplest, most powerful distinction. With the interest-only and offset strategy, any extra money they put towards their debt, it's still their money. It's fully accessible. With a P&I loan, that very same money is handed over to the bank, locked tight inside the property's equity. The only way to get it back, you guessed it, another loan application.
So, let's bring it all home. When you put all these pieces together, what does this structure actually deliver for your client? Well, it's not just a loan. It's a comprehensive strategy built on what I call the 4 pillars of total financial control. First, you're giving them maximum liquidity thanks to that accessible war chest. Second, it's a truly effective way to reduce debt because they can still hammer down their net debt by filling up the offset, but it's on their terms. Third, they get maximum flexibility to pivot, to adapt, to seize opportunities. And finally, you've created an optimized cash flow and tax position for them, which is absolutely critical when you're turning a former home into a high-performing investment property. So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about for your own clients. As they're planning this huge life change moving overseas, is their current mortgage structure helping them or is it holding them back? Is their debt structured just for simple repayment or is it structured for strategic flexibility? Because I'm telling you, for the modern expat investor, that difference is everything.